I just got this rather disturbing email titled, "Say Hi to the Next First Family." This picture here. I can't help but respond. Compare that picture to one of the alternatives. Here's McCain and his mom. You should be afraid of this family. For starters, that deer on the wall looks like he has more life in him than both McCain and his mom combined. Don't even get me started on his wife, who's 17 years younger than him. You know, the only way he makes her happy in bed is when she goes to bed early and he falls asleep on the toilet. But take a look at some of his ethics here. He was married before. Carol, his wife at the time, had been quite a babe herself until a near-fatal car accident while her husband was in Vietnam left her 4 inches shorter, overweight, and on crutches. So John comes back home and starts running around with this girl, Cindy McCain, and 6 months later they're married. Tell us, John, about your family values again. I don't think I heard you right the first time. But you know, that wasn't the only ethical lapse that he had. He himself even was quoted saying that the appearance of the Keating Five involvement, the appearance of it was wrong. It's a wrong appearance when a group of senators appear in a meeting with a group of regulators because it conveys the impression of undue and improper influence, and it was the wrong thing to do. If there'd been any due or proper influence going on, you would have told us what it was, so we can only imply that the impression wasn't the only thing undue and improper. That scandal resulted in Congress passing a bill that cost the United States $290 billion to bail out the greedy owners of those savings and loans. Tell us, John, what due and proper influence led you and your comrades to cost each and every citizen $1,000? We need a change from people who have that kind of ethical lapse. So, enough about McCain, though. The other threat to Obama, of course, would result in this being the first family. Or in their case, it probably could be argued that it would be the second family because it's their second time being the first family. You know, in '80, George H.W. Bush was elected vice president, then elected president, then Clinton was elected president, then George W. was elected president. Since 1980, we've had a Bush or a Clinton in the White House. Even Hillary convinces me that it's time for a change. I mean that, too. You know, when his father was in the White House, George W. Bush spent a lot of time there, just like Hillary. Can we learn anything about how much a person learns about foreign policy just from being in the White House, George? That's not the point, though. I kind of like Hillary and Bill, you know, but it's time for a change. Add to that 51% of the country says they could never vote for. So back to the Obama picture. How insecure do you have to be afraid of these smiling faces? His half-brother is a Muslim who wants to reduce European influence in Africa. What's wrong with that? He lives in Kenya. And on top of that, why should he want the Europeans to change their traditions and the way they live? I mean, heck, I have a Baptist uncle who wants to reduce Lutheran influence in Stoughton, but you won't see me protesting at the Sit in festival. In fact, I'll be home sitting on my ass. With this media, no matter who the black man is that runs for president, this media will find embarrassing pictures. They want to scare you. Cosby couldn't do it. They'd make him look like a fool. They could make Oprah look like Lee Harvey Oswald. To tell the truth, the media feels threatened, and they'll find an embarrassing picture no matter the color of the skin. They control the dialogue. They keep the focus on things like the name Hussein instead of talking about the issues. The so-called news networks spend more time on the polls and Paris Hilton and Britney Spears and Sandra Levy and Terry Schiavo and Lacey Peterson than any of the real issues that face us. We have a terrible economy. The oil companies are making way too much profit. Healthcare needs to be addressed. We need to find a way out of Iraq. We have immigration issues and a president who thinks he's above the law, etc., etc., etc. We need a change. So maybe Obama has African relatives. He graduated from Harvard. To be honest, I want to change so much I'd vote for Obama even if they showed us pictures of him having sex with dogs. My guess is that McCain would look funnier having sex with dogs, though. I thought about doing a Hillary animation here, but I decided, I do kind of like her. Anyway, even though his middle name's Hussein and he has black relatives and they're Africans and he won't wear a flag pin, I'm still voting for him. Because his wife is hot, and he beats the hell out of the alternatives.